And then the auto group owner interrupted and said, and just do it. Whatever they say, just do it. They want new trash cans, get them new trash cans. They want the parking lot restriped, get them a parking lot restriped. And, why? Why did that work?
Welcome again to It Doesn't Take a Genius, conversation with introspective perspectives and pithy points of view. Here are your hosts, my friends, Max and Marty.
I think that's Mark and Mike.
Yeah, whatever.
Ramsey!
Marshall, are you cold?
Oh man, the polar vortex arrived this morning, and it's minus 300 degrees Celsius, something. I don't know what a Celsius is, but apparently we're all going to die.
Well, I will say that I did spend most of yesterday chasing greenhouse panels through my yard. We have one that we're still on the hunt for. So hopefully the weather passes. But hey, you know what this episode is?
What?
Evergreen. Evergreen. That's what it is, Marshall.
It is evergreen.
But I am going to date it by giving you one data point to get us rolling here. Guess what hit an 11-year low at the beginning of this year, April of 24?
My bank account.
No, that was later in the year. But
later. Okay.
But in April, 4.8 million fewer U.S. employees are engaged in their work. U.S. engagement hits an 11-year low at the beginning of this year. Now, I have not seen updated numbers on where we're at now, but we've dived yet again in this thing that we talk about on a very regular basis. I think most of our work revolves around customer experience and better leadership, and really tied to both of those is the third leg of the wheel, employee engagement. So here we are talking about one of the key tools of employee engagement. You want to educate our audience for those that aren't familiar?
Well, yeah, and to build upon your point, just think how much worse it would have been if it hadn't been for you and me.
Right. We've been fighting the good fight.
Yeah, we were working hard on this, right? I know we made a difference. So, it could have been a 15-year low had we not engaged and had our wonderful clients engaged with us. So,
right.
You're welcome, world. Yeah, we're going to double down our efforts, starting with today.
In my head, I have this image of you and me walking along a beach with a starfish going, "It matters to this one," and throwing it back into the ocean. Anyway, go ahead.
That's us. So we've talked about this tool. I've even used some variations of this tool, and it's called the Gallup's 12 question survey. So we're all
Q12.
Yeah, the Q12 is the insiders call it. And so everybody knows Gallup as a polling organization, especially coming off some sort of election thing went on or something recently. Yep. So a lot of Gallup polls. What a lot of people don't know is that they do polling not just for societal issues and elections and things like that, but they also do polling within the companies and things like that. And so the Q12 has been around for decades. And the number I saw was 25 million employees had taken this survey.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And again, that's over decades, right? So I think they started their research in I want to say, maybe I'm making this up, but I want to say 91 or so. They launched, maybe that was their first research, or that was their first published research, but for decades, they have been measuring what helps an employee stay engaged. And they've got it down to a pretty tight little tool here with 12 questions.
Oh, yeah. You think about it, right? So we're going to measure these psychological principles around engagement, motivation, and things like that. And we can do it with 12 questions.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So they have been, honing this thing, working on it at this time. And I think this time of the year is perfect, right? We just came off of the new year, and everybody's doing their year in review.
Right.
So what was the hot movies of 2024, and all that kind of stuff. So now And then a lot of people are also looking at, okay, what does the year 2025 look like? You know,
Yeah.
what are my priorities? What are the opportunities within that? And so this is a perfect time. Uh, if you're an employee, as you listen to these 12 questions, think about, okay, how would I answer these? Where do I stand in regards to my place of employment? And then if I'm a leader, all right, you can answer these in regards to how you feel, but more importantly, start to think about how would my team members, how would the people who report to me answer these questions?
Yep. And if you are going to do the actual survey or some, other company's variation thereof, uh, the wrong question to ask right now is, I better wait till January because the scores will be better then. Like you're thinking about it the wrong way. What you're wanting to do is snap a chalk line and know actually what's going on, right? So that's what we want to talk about is give some folks some insight on, why each of these questions is important, where it might be coming from, and a little bit of what you can do about it.
Oh, no, I think you're spot on, right? So when you think about it, right, we're talking about employee engagement and not employee satisfaction.
Yeah, yeah,
So satisfaction, right? We've talked about that. Yeah, the book Customer Satisfaction is Worthless, Customer Loyalty is Priceless.
yeah.
Right? The idea that satisfaction is a superficial measure and does not determine loyalty, does not determine engagement. If my customers are satisfied, then their opinion about us is it's fine, it's okay, it's decent, doesn't suck.
Right,
I'm satisfied
right.
with it. And so we often hear about satisfaction in regards to the perks.
Yeah.
We got daycare and dry
The
cleaning
insurance
pickup.
is good,
Yeah,
and
yeah, insurance is good. Yeah. I get a car stipend, something
right,
like that. Those are satisfaction things. When you're talking about engagement, right, that's a much deeper level.
yeah.
Engagement is about your connection to work, your belief in what's going on at work, your connection to the work, and your connection to the people around you.
Our friend and guest Chris Hunsaker put it very succinctly, and I'm not sure if he coined this or not, but when we were first talking about this on a project years ago, he said, you can buy my hands, and you might even be able to buy a little bit of my head, but you can't buy my heart. I'm not going to throw myself into this work. And when you do throw yourself into the work, when you're really, truly engaged, all sorts of numbers go the right direction for the organization. Turnover, workplace accidents, absenteeism, profitability, quality. I mean, we could just go on and on about the things that are hit on that these Q12 questions are trying to get at.
Oh yeah. I remember reading an article. It's been a while back, where there was an investment fund, and they were investing in companies based upon the company's employee engagement score.
Oh yeah,
Didn't matter the industry, didn't matter the funding, didn't matter if it was new or old, right?
yep.
Nothing mattered, right? What is their employee engagement score? If it's high, there's a real good chance they'll make a whole bunch of money.
So it's funny you say that. I have a brother who, in fact, I'll give him a plug here. Luke Ramsey, the People Engineers is his brand. He was I think, the third Gallup certified strengths coach in Kentucky. He was really early on in the Strengths Finder assessment movement. That is part of Gallup. Gallup has a big emphasis on working out of your strengths, and it shows up in the Q12, which we'll talk about in a future episode. But there is another Gallup tool that he gets really pumped about, and it's really for entrepreneurship. And it's something that a venture capital firm could use to basically assess how likely a startup is to make it. And the questions kind of revolve around, the stuff we're talking about now, right? It's like, can your team hack it? Can your leadership team really uh, unite as a team, work together, see a common purpose? A bunch of things we're going to talk about as we go through the Q12. So Gallup has very smartly, they don't just predict elections; they've been predicting performance, and they're doing it based on are people working out of their strengths and working together. And the leadership of those folks is what engages them. So that's what we're going to talk about. And you've broken this down into four categories that I think are pretty clever. And we're just going to cover the first category today, and it's really just two questions. Do you want to sort of walk through your logic there on the category for today?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, 12 questions. And you answer the people answering the survey use a Likert scale, which is just the top answer would be strongly agree down to strongly disagree. And you
Yeah.
could have agree, disagree, and neutral. So as you think about that, right, that's the scale that we're looking at for these questions. And keep in mind, we're gonna do 4 podcasts on this. So this will be episode 1, and like Mark said, we're going to concentrate on the first 2 questions, 1 and 2. And to me, those 2 questions were about clarity and resources.
Yeah.
And just these 2 questions alone would tell you a whole lot about how you're doing as a manager. And
Yeah.
so, question 1 is, do I know what is expected of me at work?
Pretty straightforward on that one.
Oh yeah, and you think about it, right? So now I'm going to answer, right? Do I know what is expected of me at work? Strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree. And this question comes up so often. Usually, it comes up after the fact
That's right.
when there's an issue.
Yep.
And we're sitting with the manager. The manager is just unhappy as heck with some team member. Right? They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Right? They're underperforming. Like, and then you and I, and our infinite genius, we go, well, do they know what's expected of them?
Yep.
Where you clearly define what success looks like. Well,
Yep. That's it. That's it. I had a client that told me after years of working with him, he said, you have been so valuable. And it's that thing you said really early on. I mean, it just absolutely stopped me in my tracks. I was going to go yell at so and so. And he literally said that, like, I'm literally going to go yell at them. And you asked me, did you tell him what you wanted him to do that you're disappointed about? And he said, I had not. I couldn't. I had to stop my yelling. I wasn't allowed to do it. I couldn't do it. So yeah, it's sort of like step one. You can't even be mad yet if you haven't told them what you want them to do.
oh yeah, yeah. And we've run into this so frequently that it's kind of funny that it's question 1. I
Right.
don't think these are in some sort of prioritized format, but it is funny that it's question 1.
But it's so basic. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
if you think of well, and we were talking about this in a previous podcast, the Shell Ursa oil rig, URSA oil rig. And it's mentioned in Simon Sinek's book, The Infinite Game. There's a really interesting NPR radio show about that event. But basically, this oil rig had terrible, like the worst safety rating of all the offshore oil rigs. It was a truly dangerous place to work. And what it turns out it boiled down to was nobody felt safe enough to say, I don't understand the expectations. There's a new piece of equipment. I think I'll get yelled at if I ask clarifying questions about how to use it and make sure I'm not confused. And so they were having accidents all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a whole cultural thing about that we're macho, we don't ask questions, and they had a psychologist come and help them work on that, and basically got them to open up and talk to each other, and basically improve the safety, sort of the psychological safety of the organizational culture, and fixed, done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's all about just clarifying. It's not just like, here's a list of rules or here's a process that I want you to follow. It's the back and forth to say, okay, now let me make sure I understand this. What does success look like around here? That those are expectation questions, all of them. So it's not just Did I give you a list of things that are in the employee manual, or did I give you the process list of how we go about doing our job on the directions for this area of our department? It's beyond that to anything that provides clarity about what do they really expect out of me here.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you're absolutely right. And a list is not a bad place to start.
No, not at all.
Just for clarification purposes of the manager or
Yep.
the leader. And so yeah, oftentimes we'll ask, all right, so can I see their job description, right?
Right.
In writing? Can I see their roles and responsibilities? Do you have that in writing? Well, we had it somewhere.
Yep.
Here's a dusty copy from 1982.
Yep.
or or in the we work a lot in the automotive retail space. They'll fall back to the pay plan is the
Yeah.
expectation.
Yep. Yep.
Like, and then sometimes like, all right, well, show me the pay plan. Well, it's in the office. All right, I haven't seen
Yep.
it since we covered it at the initial interview, and we really haven't looked at it since. So yeah, do I have roles and responsibilities, clear expectations, clear pay plan? Are these things in writing,
Right.
and do we refer back to them periodically when we're exceeding expectations and when we're underperforming in regards to the expectations?
And again, this is not a like a morality thing or something where it's like you really should do this the right way. This is hard, cold facts about what improves the organization. On this one, and I don't remember all the numbers, but Gallup sort of tells you, and we'll link to this on the website, but Gallup says that the average score right now is like 2 out of 10 that say they strongly agree. But
Wow.
if you can take it to 8 out of 10, so that's a pretty big jump. But if you can get, the vast majority of your employees strongly agreeing that they are clear about expectations, um, 22% reduction in turnover, that's nice. 29% reduction in accidents, they call them safety incidents, 10% increase in productivity. And by the way, you're 2.5 times more likely to say that you're engaged as an employee if you're strongly agreeing on this question. So I mean, it, it's almost like each of these questions will become kind of a force multiplier for whatever productivity looks like for you, whatever the numbers are that you really want to see happen. But in general, and I'll try to use more statistics from Gallup as we go through. But in general, it's like if you can move from less than half of your employees strongly agreeing to more than half, you're on the right path. That's when the force multiplier kicks in. So
Mm-hmm.
that might be what you're looking for. Is do I have the majority of my employees saying, "Yeah, I get the expectations here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about it previously. I was in the manager's office, sales manager calls the salesperson in. Sales manager's wildly unhappy with every aspect of the salesperson's performance. And so the sales manager says, "Here's what I need you to do every single day." And he laid out, the activities and the behaviors and everything. And the salesman listened carefully and looked at the manager and said, "You know, I just really don't want to work that hard." And and the manager, it was quiet for a minute. The manager said, "Well, at least you have the guts to say what half of my people are thinking." And I don't think we're aligned, and we should probably not be working together anymore.
Nope. No.
Just you need to find a place that fits you,
Better for both of us.
right? But you could tell that was the first time that person had heard the expectations that clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd been hinted at and assumed in various ways, poked and prodded, but never laid out that succinctly and in that direct a fashion.
Well, and we've talked about this before too, and I'll say this, and I'm done on this question, but sometimes the expectations change. Sometimes the organization has new leadership, or they recognize that they need to go a new direction, and there's a cultural change that has to happen as a result. And you may have people that, sort of once you set those expectations, if you're really clear about it, they probably will over the course of about 2 years say, this is not what I signed up for. right? Some of them will, um, you know, be unwilling to change, and yeah, sure, they'll get fired or what have you, or move to a different part of the organization. But some of them are going to say that this ain't what I signed up for. The expectations have changed,
Mhm.
and they're going to exit. And again, that's okay, right? That you'd rather know that and replace them with an employee who's actually engaged, right? Because it's not going to go any further. You're not going to get numbers to move without that change. So
Mhm.
that's question one.
No, that's great. That's fantastic. All right, so we move on to question two.
Another basic.
Yeah, yeah. So these are all about clarity and resources. Question two: do I have the materials and equipment I need to do my work right? Do I have the materials and equipment I need to do my work right? Strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree.
Yeah, this is another one. You know, the strongest indicator of job stress, Gallup says, is this question. And if you think about it, you probably know as a consultant or coach coming into an organization, you know they have an issue with this question when you hear people say things like, I'm set up to fail, or, I can't meet that expectation. Or they'll just tell you, they haven't given us anything we need to do this. And by anything, the question says materials and equipment, you know, that could be physical, but it might be, information that they need to do their job. It might be, some clarity about how empowered they are to take care of the customer or the internal customer. Those are the things uh, that's a stressor, right? People are looking to me and I can't deliver, yet it's not my fault that I can't deliver because I haven't been given these tools. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. Well, I even think about, maybe I read too much into this, but I also think about, do I have the autonomy and authority
Right.
to do these things? So it
Yeah.
says materials and equipment, you think concrete items, but I'm also thinking, all right, do I have the leeway
Yeah.
to go out and do the things necessary for me to achieve this level of customer satisfaction,
100%.
to produce this many widgets, to sell this many objects, that
Yep.
type of thing. So yeah, one of the key elements in the Toyota way, when you look
Hmm.
at the Toyota way management system, number four is remove obstacles.
Hmm.
And I immediately thought of that when I looked at this. I said, these are obstacles. If I don't have the materials, the equipment, the authority to do something, as a manager, I need to remove those obstacles.
Right.
Right. Here's this additional resource. Here's this access that maybe I have but you don't have that would
Right.
benefit you when it comes to solving these problems. Um, we see it all the time. We'll be talking, and customer satisfaction surveys are big in almost every industry now.
Yep.
And I'll ask how often, how do the frontline employees, the people actually generating the experiences that determine customer satisfaction, what kind of access do they have to the website where the surveys are returned?
Mm.
Oh well, I print off the bad ones and we review those. Like, well, that's a start. Okay, that's
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of it. And I'm surprised how often we haven't given access to the information that the employees could use to make decisions on how to get better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you start to look and go, okay, what am I hanging on to? Uh, what have we not provided that would allow my employees to fully engage and, more importantly, do their work right?
Right. Right. Exactly. And again, this is, it's tied to profitability, to less accidents, to quality. And in some cases, I think, like you were saying, it's empowerment that we're providing them. It's information we're providing them, not just these physical tools and so on. Well, one of the things we can provide them is the big picture. We're the ones theoretically higher in the organization and have a wider view of what's going on, and we're the only ones who can tell them that. Flip side is they're the only ones who can tell us what's happening in the trenches. We're insulated from that once we're in leadership to some degree. But there's a future Q12 question that's going to address that. This is about what can we give them. and make sure the trenches have what they need to succeed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nothing's more powerful than when the manager asks the team, "All right, so what is it that you don't have? What is getting in the way of us being more productive?
Yep.
Right? What is causing you the most frustration? Right?
Yeah.
Well, the this hose broke on this machine, and this part, doesn't work as well as it used to anymore. This computer is so slow that it's taken us twice as long to download the materials that we need." All of a sudden, you find out what are these things that are getting in the way of doing the work right and
Yeah.
efficiently.
So one last thought on that. It's a tremendous coaching question that keeps you from saying, why are you, fill in the blank, right? Why are you screwing up? Why are your numbers bad? Why are you failing? You can say, what gets in the way?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get two kinds of answers there. One set of answers is hopefully them owning something for themselves, right? Like, this is me getting in the way of my own growth. This is something
Mm-hmm.
I could change. But the other thing that you're going to get are the answers that they're thinking about when they answer this question number two. I don't have this resource and that resource, and it's that tool is broke, or the parking lot stinks, or whatever it is. And I'm reminded of, I guess I'll keep this anonymous, but there's a fairly good sized auto group, a really big campus that went through this exercise. You and I know the coach that was involved in helping them through this, and we got to hear the coach and the owner of this auto group talk about the experience of how they just went through an absolute cultural renaissance, and performance improved and everything. And it all started with town hall meetings to go over the survey results. And they were asking, what needs to be improved? You said there were these issues. What are the specific things that need to be improved? And I remember so specifically the coach, talking about this, and then the auto group owner interrupted and said, "And just do it. Whatever they say, just do it. They want new trash cans, get them new trash cans. They want the parking lot restriped, get them a parking lot restriped." And why? Why did that work? Well, it's because we know they're listening now. We know that they're providing the things we need. These are tangible, visible elements that show that the company's listening, the organization's listening, we're getting what we need. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the secret to winning at this question.
Oh yeah. Well, and this is to me, both of these questions are management stuff.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
rest, the other 10 questions are leadership and coaching,
Yep.
in my opinion. But this is management stuff,
Yep.
right? This is, are we doing things right?
Yeah.
And do we have the materials to do things right? Right. That's, to me, that's management, right? Leadership is, yeah, are we doing the right things? And then the human element of coaching. So yeah, think about, right, if I just spent the next week talking to my team members as a leader, saying, all right, so tell me what you believe are the expectations of you in your role, right? And let's find out what they know, right? How
Yep.
do they interpret it? And then the question, yeah, what do you need in order to be more successful, to achieve your goals, however you want to word it, right? What's getting in the way of you being more productive, whatever the question might be. Just
Yep.
spend a week doing that.
Just gathering input.
Yeah, just find out. Yeah, just see what you get, right? And then you can join us next week.
Nice teaser.
Oh, that was good, right? So, question, it's a big block, right? We're going to cover questions 3 through 7, but I think you'll see how they all fit
Yep.
together around basic human needs.
Yep. Love it. Well, let's do just put a bow on it there. And this is going to be fun. It's going to take us all the way through January of 25, our 4 episodes for January. And so this is a great way to start off your year right. So see you next time.
Excellent. Thanks. Take it away, Mr. Wolf.
And that's a wrap. It doesn't take a genius. The blog dedicated to reducing the irreducible. Next time, prime numbers. What makes them so special? Join us then. And thanks for listening.
That's good enough.